Hey everyone, so I had a few technical difficulties, but I'm going live again here because I really want to talk today about moxa. Of course, I love moxa and how really being meticulous can help you improve your skills, how it can make you become more confident in your moxa skills. So today, let's talk about, first of all, how Japanese acupuncture is really stresses being meticulous in nature. So the first thing that I can definitely tell you is that your moxa cones are all going to have to be same size, same shape, same density every single time. That's just how it is. But there's a lot more to that. So when I talk about being meticulous, it goes straight down to how you've set up, move that out of the way, how you've actually set up your moxa practice. So it's going to begin really with the moxa practice. And for that, I'm going to put the screen down a little bit. All right, so in front of me, I have, of course, I have an incense stick. I have my moxibustion. I have some ShinKyu cones over here that are a little separate. I have my ashtray, and of course, I would have a lighter. I don't have one today because I'm just talking about setup. And then in front of me, I would have anything that I'm going to use. Let's just say we're going to use this piece of paper for our patient. This is going to be our patient today. So how you set up your practice, right now it's just kind of willy-nilly. It's all over the place. I have things spread out just as I described them. I place them down, no big deal. But if you've watched any of my lectures about moxibustion or you've taken any of my courses, of course, if you're within ShinKyu University, you already know this. But the Japanese acupuncturists are very specific in how they set up even their moxa practice. So where they even place their things. So for example, I am a right-handed person, and so I am going to, let me move this back so I can kind of be in the frame there. There we are. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so because I'm a right-handed person, I'm going to want to make sure that all of my tools are in the correct place for how I use my hands. So first of all, when you're a right-handed person, you always, hands down, always will be taught to roll with your non-dominant left hand. Now, if you're a lefty, for those of you who are watching that are lefties, you always roll, always, no questions asked ever with your right hand. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, I'm ambidextrous. I can use both. And that, if that's the case, choose the hand that you most commonly go dominant with. Like, for example, I say if you snowboard or skateboard, if you are goofy, you're going to be a lefty. If you are regular, you're going to be a righty. For the most part. And so that only applies to those of you who are like, I'm not sure which hand really to ever use because I feel comfortable with both of them. Now, the reason why is because you always want to make sure that your rolling is always with your right hand. And so I'm actually going to put my moxa on my left because that's where I'm going to have it accessed most frequently is with my left hand. I'm going to put my ashtray and my incense stick on my right, always on my right, as much as I possibly can. Even if my client is here and then I usually have a tray with all my tools here, I'll try to move them in front of me as much as I can, or at least keep my tray on the right where I'm ashing and keep my moxa, raw moxa, in front of me on my left. So continuing on that, I would have my lighter here on the right. So I would have my incense on the right because I'm always going to be holding my incense with my right hand. There's two different ways to hold incense. It becomes a little bit stylistic. Some practitioners I've seen, like Yamada Sensei, actually light like this. I think that's you're kind of wasting some time. I would say most people, how I was taught was to hold your moxa here, always facing towards you. And then you always have to have your moxa on your left. And so when you go to go to light your incense, you're going to have your lighter on your left. So you could pick it up and light your incense and then put it back down. So does that make sense that all of your things are going to split into these spaces, into these zones to where you're going to use them? My ashtray, of course, is always going to be on my right-hand side because I have my right hand always on the incense. And so this is where being super meticulous with where you place your tools, with how you use your tools, down to the quality of the tools that you purchase becomes really, really important. Now, how does this come back to making you more confident with your patients? So before I go into that, I want to remind everyone to don't forget to like and subscribe, share this channel. If you feel like you've gained any knowledge from this, I would love to talk to you more about possibly bringing you into ShinKyu University. So going on, How does being meticulous make you a better practitioner? Well, it makes you a better practitioner because it takes the guesswork out of what you're doing. And so the every day-to-day tasks, it's like saying like, "Oh, I'm always going to push on the gas pedal here in the States with my right foot or my left foot," right? Obviously, we're going to usually push on the gas pedal with our right, and we would step on the clutch if we were in a stick shift with our left. If we were driving in Japan, that would be opposite because you would be sitting on the opposite side of a car. It wouldn't make sense for you to continually change your feet and have to think, okay, push down the gas pedal with my left foot now. No, push down the gas pedal with my right foot now. That just wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't be able to keep control of the road and see where everybody else is. And it's the same thing in your practice. If you don't have these day-to-day, everyday tasks down to a fine art of muscle memory, right? Of everything that I do is set in stone. It's meticulous. I know exactly where my products are. I know the exact quality of my products. I know how to utilize my products. If you don't have all of those little teeny details in place, when you have to actually approach your patient, when you're talking to them about what their issue is that day, how you're going to address that issue, it becomes a lot to think about, and you're not going to be able to practice while you talk. And I think that's really important. I know some practitioners don't like to talk at all during practice. That's purely stylistic. I applaud you for being able to do that. I'm a bit of a talker, if you hadn't noticed. So I talk a lot during my treatments. I don't think it's important for my patient to pass out during treatments unless they need to. And oftentimes I'm doing a lot of my feedback loops of diagnosis while I'm treating. So I tend to talk more. In any case, you really need to understand what's going on around you as you continue to do your day-to-day tasks. And if these tasks are not set in stone meticulously down to where you place your lighter, down to where you do your moxa, really right now, I should have both feet on the floor, a better position, right? And so I even, when I go to do my moxa at clinic, it's funny because when I'm normal in normal life, I tend to have quite bad posture. I tend to be like this, always a little bit to the right. And when I'm in my clinic, like I automatically come to this upright position because this is my zero. This is my meticulous nature trying to come in and be like every single thing needs to be the same so I can really tune in to what's happening in my client's body. Okay, so that's it for today's Live Wednesday. I hope that these little tips and tricks are really helping you in your practice to become more confident with your patients. As I said before, if you would like to learn more about my lifetime membership and mentorship course, you can by all means either comment below "I want in," or you can just click on the link in the description box below to schedule an interview for yourself to see if you are a good fit and the program is a good fit for you. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future content. And until I see you next time, happy practicing.